I do know why I start talking, even though people are not watching just yet. I always start talking at the beginning of these because I know that in case somebody comes back and watches later, you're probably not going to want to see me sit here and just stare at the camera for a little while and like twiddle my thumbs. But what's going on, you guys? I'm Andrew Douglas Moon. I'm doing another live stream. I told you guys I was going to start being a lot more consistent with these. Now with the schedule change, also having some more time off. So more and more frequently, I'm going to actually make sure that I do these live streams, that I come hang out with you guys, that I ask you, or excuse me, not ask, that I answer your questions. Although you're totally, I might ask you guys some stuff from time to time. But yeah, it definitely typically works out best if I wait just a little bit till some of you guys actually get in here and we can hang out and talk a little bit. I may or may not, depending on how bad it seems that the mosquitoes are out, I may or may not actually go down to the pool tonight. Here at where we live at, this community has a community pool. So that's pretty cool. But in the meantime, Andrew Douglas Moon, fragrance YouTuber / faith YouTuber. And I just want to say hello. I talk about fragrances with you guys. You're more than welcome to ask anything you want if you're new here. If you're not new here, you're also still more than welcome to talk about or ask whatever you would like to do so. And I'll give you my best answers. With that being said, I am going to talk about personally some of the absolute best fragrances that you can get your hands on for summertime. What's going on, Mick? My buddy. I know that I believe I saw this morning that you came through for the Bible study video. I think I saw you pop through just for a second there. I'm not entirely completely sure because I don't really focus too much on the comments and stuff, but that was actually a really wonderful time getting a chance to do that this morning, and I'm happy to see you here right now, and I get to do this evening. As always, it'd be really nice. Just ask real quick if you could let me know if my audio is coming through really good. But yeah, pretty much want to take some time for just a little while before I potentially go do a little bit of swimming or something like that, or at least go check the mail to see how you guys feel about my personal suggestions for some of the summertime fragrances, because definitely I'm already a really big proponent, with no questions asked, for these bad boys right here. It's no secret. I definitely think that Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Beau de Parfum and Paradise Garden are definitely some of the absolute best summer fragrances that I've ever got my nose on before. I only was watching for a minute this morning, but I listened in my ear. Hey, well, I'm super happy that you was able to be a part. Definitely in those situations, it's not about watching so much as it is about listening. So as long as you were there, it means a lot to me that you had the opportunity to come through. I hope that these things, when I do those, are in any way, shape, or form encouraging. And I'm just grateful that you even joined in the first place. You're one of my favorite people to ever see. Not that, I'm not happy to see anybody, but I love seeing your name when you pop up. But yeah, to anybody who, again, one more time, who's new, Andrew Douglas Moon, my channel. I talk about fragrances. Definitely going to talk about some summertime jams today, because there's a lot of fragrances that are really fantastic for the summer, but also different things that people can alternate between, kind of ultimately depending on the mood that you're personally in. And I mean, to be honest with you, there's people who like things that are still like very rich fougere fragrances when it comes to the summertime. I know people who personally like wearing mostly like what would be considered wintertime fragrances during the summer. But at the end of the day, for me, I really am not the biggest fan in general of like purely aquatic or summertime fragrances as a whole. That's not really necessarily my style, but I do have ones that I really love and that I kind of cycle through. And so honestly, classic Sauvage Parfum or classic Sauvage Eau de Parfum, to this day, cannot really go wrong with something like that. Even the Eau de Toilette is honestly pretty good, but at the end of the day, the Parfum is just like a really fantastic, anytime during the summertime, during the day, and as well, it actually works really good on a hot day. I know that some people might not think that's the case, but the classic Sauvage by Dior Parfum or the Eau de Parfum has really good longevity and staying power for a nice summertime day. Something about the little bit of elements of citrus come through with the lavender, and it's just very strong, very dense and bright, and does really well even if you sweat. Clings to you very well. Obviously not quite as powerful as if you was to put on Sauvage Elixir, but hopefully you're not doing that during the summertime, unless perhaps it's a campfire night. But, excuse me, with that being said, I will say that to me personally, just throwing out a couple of ones out there that might seem a little odd to say as summertime fragrances, I think that something like Black Iris actually to me is a pretty good like evening summertime or camping summertime fragrance. I say that because it is rich, it is bright, it's luxurious, but at the same time, for some reason, Black Iris to me just carries this feel of like being near a campfire, which for the most part probably reminds a lot of people. It reminds me for sure of the more summertime feel, like an evening, you're going out with your family, maybe you're going to roast some hot dogs or make some s'mores. Something like that. Jean Paul Elixir, absolutely Brandon. Jean Paul Elixir, a truly special. It's more of a fall wintertime fragrance, and yet somehow at the same time it really bonds well. I can't speak for everybody. It might not work the same for every person, but on me personally, I really actually enjoy it as a summertime fragrance. Tropical Sillage, that's an awesome name. Thank you for popping through here. My name's Andrew Douglas Moon. If you guys are new here, you are more than welcome to ask questions. I'm not an absolute professional or anything. I just like having this little community where we hang out. If you guys got suggestions as well, as long as you are being good to one another and you are being family friendly, we'd like to keep a family friendly environment here. Everybody's welcome to pop through. I received a new cheapie last Friday, Lattafa Oud Amethyst. Oh, no. It's really funny that you should say that. I believe this is this. Oh, wait. Yep. I think I got the same one right here. I actually got this in a week ago, and honest to goodness, it's pretty decent. I always see fragrance YouTubers in my feed. Well, hey, it's nice to meet you here. Brother, I'm a subscribe. Hey, absolutely, I appreciate that, buddy. It means a lot to me that you take the time to even do that. So, yeah, I like to do these live streams when I get the opportunity to do so. Just kind of meet different people, have a nice little community here where we help each other out. If I ever, if there's a fragrance somebody asks about, I talk fast, so not to be annoying, but if I get the opportunity, I try to keep up with you guys' comments. If somebody ever asks me something and I don't know, or there's a fragrance that I haven't tried, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to keep it straight because I pay for all these. Nobody sends me stuff for free. I'm not sponsored. So if I can't help you, somebody else, if you have the opportunity to do so, please, if you see something and you do know that fragrance, you're more than welcome to share your opinions as long as you're being respectful. What's your best iris note scents? To be completely real with you, my absolute favorite all-time iris fragrance, well, my top two favorites, because they're some of the only ones that I really have a serious appreciation for, is definitely going to be Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male Le Parfum, but then also the king of the king of the king. Now, I know that there's obviously a more denser amount of oil version of this, but to me, Reflections Man, the original by Amouage, this is like the absolute fantastic explosion of iris when it comes down to it. I've smelled a handful of things that are in a comparison or competitors, but this one just does the best for me. I ordered a 10-minute Amour Cafe by Mancera. Oh my goodness, yeah. So Amour Cafe by Mancera is an excessively powerful fragrance. Omar, what's up, buddy? Super happy to see you here. I do not have Azzaro Most Wanted Intense. Not the biggest fan of that line, to be completely honest with you. Nothing that's necessarily wrong with it. It's just not my style. Dior Parfum Pre-Reform. I don't know about pre-reform about that. Or you're talking about pre-formulation. Okay, definitely understand it. Le Male Le Parfum, absolutely. Le Male Le Parfum is one of the greatest fragrances to me personally that I've ever smelled. I see people like Jeremy Fragrance. He's always talking about how the original Eau de Toilette's like the best. It actually is a really good fragrance. But this one, to me, is my favorite of the bunch. For a while, Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male Elixir was my favorite. Definitely like the Absolute. I have that. I did a review for that, but the Elixir was my favorite for quite some time. But I gotta say, Le Male Le Parfum is definitely going to always probably be the reigning champion to me out of all the entire line for the Le Male. Now, of course, when it comes down to like the absolute, like monstrous, best, perfect overall summer fragrance to me, yeah, this is my opinion. So no offense to you guys. I'm super happy if you guys have your own opinions. But Le Beau Le Parfum is definitely what I think could just go well in every situation. You've been skipping Grimm's Live, what happened? I don't know what you mean by that. Skipping Grimm's Live. Who is Grimm's, or what are you talking about? What do you think of Arabic perfumes? I think that there is a lot of decent ones out there, especially depending on what you mean, because if you're talking about, by the way, I just want to throw this out there one more time. I do try my best to keep up with you. I'll talk about Omar. Okay. Jean Paul Gaultier, old school always. Yeah, I do love the old school, but I will say definitely Le Male Le Parfum is definitely just an absolute beautiful fragrance. But with that being said, yes, for me, Le Parfum is for colder days, and Elixir. It's interesting that you say that, like I said, because for me personally, and then a handful of my other friends also enjoy wearing the Elixir, even though a lot of people try to gear shift that towards just being a straight up fall and winter fragrance. And I get it because of the tonka bean, because of the honey and notes like that. But the way that it all blends together to me and the lavender running through it, it honestly just really pulls through. And the benzoin is like a fantastic summertime fragrance. I think so. It works for me. But one more time, just want to say this. I really appreciate you guys coming through here very much. Anytime anybody pops through and has any questions to ask, especially after long days like this, I appreciate you guys so much. So if you got any questions you would like to ask, please feel free to do so. I'm going to continue to explain a few more. So Creed Silver Mountain Water is a fragrance that I want to bring up because a lot of you maybe see that I have Club de Nuit, Armaf's Club de Nuit Sillage. So Silver Mountain Water became a fragrance that I actually fell in love with, which surprised me because I had experienced quite a handful of creeds and was not the most impressed, to be completely honest with you. I love what Creed did for the fragrance world. Obviously, everybody knows Creed Aventus DNA became like, extremely popular. Everybody wants to do it. Real quick to Tropical Sillage, I appreciate that. I most definitely did the best I could to try to build a collection I could be proud of to start doing reviews back when I did it, because I've been passionate about fragrances since I was young for a handful of different reasons. But when we sold the house and I had the opportunity to start building up a collection that I could do, I saw a lot of reviewers. This is no shade on any singular person in particular, and I'm never going to like bring up anybody's names. But when I personally wanted to look up stuff, I saw way too many people. You could tell they were like paid or sponsored, and they were not necessarily being the most honest about fragrances. I found that out because I got burned a handful of times buying suggestions that turned out to not be all it's cracked up to be. So that's why I started doing this myself. But with that being said, if I do miss any of you guys' comments, just please feel free to continue to comment some more. Just don't get random clones. You actually got brands. I do the best I can, because that is kind of the thing, is a lot of people are too big on like flopping a bunch of, that's probably a bad word to choose, but buying an incredible amount of like just clones upon clones. And it's not really what you should do. You don't need like a bunch of, I have all these because I do reviews. You don't need to have a buttload of fragrances. It's just like a waste. It's not good for anybody to express yourself properly without getting overwhelmed through fragrances. I typically tell people anywhere between 5 to maybe 12 is a pretty decent ratio of fragrances to have. And yeah, I'm not going to say names out loud, but I will say John, who you brought up yourself, that is a person, no offense to her like, as a whole, but that is a person who I've seen quite often. And a lot of people of her, like on like the TikTok apps and stuff, they are very adamant about pushing things on people because they're sponsored and they get free stuff. And I will tell you, when you start doing reviews, even when you don't really have like a lot, you don't get like millions and millions of views. Like I don't get loads of views. And yet at the same time, even still, I've gotten emails from companies who are willing to send things, but it is actually like a catch-all in their comments or stuff in the emails that you have to talk about how good they are. So I don't want to do that. I would rather spend some money when I have the opportunity to do so. And hopefully I'll start like actually really making money doing this at some point. So if you guys have suggestions of fragrances you'd like to see me talk about, I can do them for you and like give you my honest thoughts. Because I definitely think when you invest into it, you kind of have to tell the truth instead of people just sending you stuff. How did you like Satin Oud? So just throwing it out there, I will say Satin Oud Satin, excuse me. Yeah, Oud Satin is definitely a fantastic fragrance. If you're talking about Satin, the original by MFK, I love that. But I will always stand by the fact that Oud Silk Mood is my favorite between the two. Something about the blend is just a little bit more perfect for me. But I definitely think that most people that I meet end up liking Satin Mood, a little bit more. At this point, it's almost everyone with 50K subs. I do agree. And again, I'm not trying to crap on anybody in particular, because I don't want to be that person. And I definitely, if I continue to grow as a channel and build this community, I don't want to be known as somebody who dogs on people or nothing. It's just like, it's a true thing that you guys spend your hard-earned money just like the rest of us to get fragrances. If you like fragrances, if you're interested in perfumery, it doesn't feel good when you want to trust somebody and they say, this one, for instance, I've crapped on this one quite a bit, actually. Today, this was my shorts video I did for Fragrance of the Day. And I have an opinion that I see people talk about on Reddit, but is not the most popular opinion when it comes to Vulcan Few. And that is, I got this when it first came out, and I was going to film an actual thorough review when it got here because I was kind of excited to get my nose on this. This was one of those ones where I was a dummy. And I trusted a lot of the like TikTok people I was seeing and stuff. Everybody, you probably can let your mind run wild and you know what I'm referring to. I gave these babies a shot. When I got Vulcan Few, I was like, okay, so yeah, similar to God of Fire, which God of Fire in and of itself was a pretty big disappointment. Decent enough, far from worth the price. Really bad performer. This one, on the other hand, I just saw like a handful of like really popular folks talking about how this is like a monster and it explodes off of you and lasts all day long. And turns out it doesn't. This just sticks to your skin. After about 30 minutes, it's just straight to the skin. And it will stay to the skin for a handful of hours. But ultimately, this thing's like $70. I paid, I think, $45, $50 at the time. But I know a lot of people are paying $70 for this. And I cannot tell people enough, don't do it. Just don't do it. I honestly would believe people who are popular, who push something trash for sponsored. They are. It's not a secret. Just throwing this out there. The largest portion of the most popular fragrance YouTubers you see, once they get past a certain point, they get sent free things from companies like Lattafa. I do like some Lattafas. I don't like all Lattafas. if I had to be completely real, I think there's more not good ones than there is good ones. But at the end of the day, there are some pretty decent Lattafas out there. But I would rather you save your money and get decent quality fragrances that you can really be proud of and you can cherish than have you go out here and have to spend an incredible amount of money stacking up this huge collection of just cheapies and that you got to just completely spray and layer on. It's just going to equal about the same price at the end of the day to just have a bunch of junk. It's going to be quality versus quantity. That's not to say that everything expensive, like there's plenty of expensive fragrances that aren't worth a flip. So like I just said, God of Fire, or no offense to anyone, but you will hear me say a lot if you come to my streams, I'm not a Louis Vuitton fan. There's no offense to anybody whatsoever. I respect everybody's opinions. Fragrances are subjective, but Louis Vuittons are some more extremely expensive fragrances, and they're very hyped up, like Pacific Chill, Imagination. But the performance is just not that great. And it's not just because of the type of fragrances they are. It's also just, they're just not that great performers for how much people pay for them. So like I said, if I'm going to talk about stuff, I just want to do the best I can. I look up to people like Aaron Terrence Hughes, people like him. I enjoy his stuff. He's somebody who I can see is typically very critical and very honest as a professional perfumer. So that's just what I try to do. You ever try Bulgari Man in Black? I have not. I've heard people talk about that. I've never actually given that one a shot myself. That's why I like FB Fragrances, because when he gets sponsored, he will say when it's trash. See, that kind of stuff I seriously respect. When people receive fragrances, and that's what I want to do, although I will say you will get rejected very fast if you are sent an email by a company who's like, hey, we'll send you something, but here's the guidelines of what we're wanting you to say. If you send an email back saying, well, I am going to be completely honest, and if I don't like it, I'm going to say that, you will get emails back. I'm not going to say any company's names, but you will receive emails back either saying, never mind, we'll send it to you, but you must pay, or they will respond to you at that point. So it is kind of the nature of the game. If you're going to receive, if you see anybody receiving free product, they're also getting paid, ironically, really good amounts of money. Just to show you guys this real fast. So this is a fragrance by a company called Sensual Obsessions. It smelled like scent, like you smell. I got them to make this for me. Because they do really good stuff, and then for pretty decent prices as well. It's like $40. You can go on their website and you can make your own. And the thing about this is, let me see real quick, are there rare perfumes that are difficult to obtain? There are rare perfumes that are difficult to obtain, but I'm not going to talk about that just at this moment. But I do appreciate you popping through and asking questions, and you guys are welcome to continue asking stuff. Say hello, test, review your product. Hey, that's awesome. I appreciate you, Colton, for popping through here. Like I said, anybody's welcome to come through. My name's Andrew Douglas Moon. This is my channel. I don't always just talk about fragrances. I also, no offense to anyone, I usually lose people when I say this. I will get back to what I was saying about this, but just a sidebar. I usually lose people out of the stream when I say this, but anybody's welcome to my channel as long as you're being respectful. It's a family-friendly channel. With that being said, as you can probably see, I got a cross. I am actually a Christian, so nobody has to come to these. I'm not forcing it on you. But on my channel, I also do biblical studies live streams. But with that being said, I'm not here to argue or debate with anybody or to come down on anyone. No matter who you are, what you do or don't believe, you're welcome here as long as you're being respectful to everybody else. So with that being said, why if you leave, you're a Christian? Just to be honest with you, there's a lot of people who are not really too thrilled about that, or who are looking to like get into arguments. And I'm just not going to do that. With that being said, so what I was talking about with this, like these guys at Sensual Obsessions, who I paid, they made this fragrance for me. Which, by the way, one of the key notes to this is rose and iris. I absolutely love that, with also apple essence. But with that being said, they were literally telling me, I'm not trying to say their personal business, so I'm not going to say any names or nothing. Nor did they. They're very professional, but they did tell me, when they themselves have had people reach out to sample and test their products, and they do really good fragrances, they tell me that people ask for like insane amounts of money to do reviews, like just your average run-of-the-mill TikToker or somebody like that, who, from what I've been told, they can definitely help generate sales by doing this. But basically, long story short, there's people just like me who will do a review for a fragrance and will ask the person who sends it, yeah, I'll say that your stuff is good, but at the same time, don't get me wrong, these guys weren't saying like asking a person to lie for them. They wanted honest opinions. But the people are like asking, like, I'll do it for you, but I want like $3,000, stuff like that, like an insane amount of money to do like a 5-minute video review or something. Like, that's crazy. You don't deserve that. Or even $500, to be honest with you. You don't really deserve that just to talk about a fragrance or something. Just throwing that out there. But yeah, so when I heard stuff like that, I was like, I can't believe this, because here I am doing this junk, and there's people out there who are getting free stuff and also requesting like crazy amounts of money just to do a tiny little review that may or may not even be very helpful. So when I think of stuff like that, I'm like, that's crazy. But with that being said, Club de Nuit Sillage. So Club de Nuit Sillage is actually, I don't know if that's what you guys are talking about, but I do see somebody asked about it. So Club de Nuit Sillage is actually a clone of Silver Mountain Water by Creed. And I got to say that kind of brings me back to my original point, that with that being said, I personally really love the original Silver Mountain Water. I also have tried this bad boy, the Supremacy in Heaven. Dude, gotta be completely honest with you, this smells to me a little bit less synthetic, honestly, to me a little bit better than Club de Nuit Sillage. But if I was going to tell you which one to choose between, probably going to send you to Club de Nuit, only because they don't really ever fail to be monster performers. And I got to say, really, really love Club de Nuit Sillage because it's just a fantastic performance. Most of the stuff that they've done, up on my other shelf, I've got Club de Nuit Intense Woman. It's actually an incredible take on, it's supposed to be noir de noir, but to me, it actually reminds me a lot of Bodicea Victorious' Ardent, which is one of my favorite fragrances. It's just a nice, luxurious, slightly fruity rose type of fragrance. Really did a great job. Club de Nuit's Untold is also a pretty good take on the original Baccarat Rouge. So I got to say, I do like that company, and they do a great job. Talking about good summer fragrances, actually, let me make sure I keep up with you guys real quick. You want to make that sale? Absolutely, they do. I got the original I want to compare. I want to try Central Obsessions Blueberry Kush. Hey, definitely recommend you give them a shot. All their stuff is extracted parfums, and they're really nice and honest people. And I like that. I like if somebody says, hey, I'll send you stuff. I want you to try out my fragrances. And you can honestly say if it's dog crap. I respect that. If there's people out there's very few companies willing to do that. But if you can find a smaller company who's willing to do those type of things, I got a lot of love for them. So I definitely send people that way. Because does it smell like what you said? Yeah, me neither, Tropical Sillage. I don't want to smell like that either myself. I know you like Grand Soir. I think you like Frederic Malle Musk Ravageur. I definitely appreciate you suggesting that. I'll have to check that out. Polo Blue or Versace Dylan Blue? Ooh, I'm going to be real with you. Versace Dylan Blue. I don't really care for either one of them. That's just my personal taste. I'm not the biggest fan of those guys. But if I had to choose, I'll probably send you guys to Versace Dylan Blue if I was going to say. So just to give you guys a few more thoughts, and continue asking questions. It makes me so happy and so excited when I get to interact with you guys, because that's the only reason I want to do this. Sometimes the streams don't go so well, and only like a few people end up being able to come through or interact. But when you guys come hang out, I appreciate y'all so much. Polo Blue used to be my go-to. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's just not my thing. But Tony, super happy to see you here, buddy. I appreciate you so much. Like I said earlier today, just throwing this out there, I'm not trying to push anybody away, but I did do a live stream this morning of one of the this week's biblical studies series. So if you guys want to go check that out, we just started Genesis. But with that said, getting back to it, so this tonight's stream, I try, if you're new here, to do routine streams of my fragrance collection and answering you guys' questions. So thank you guys so much for popping through, and please feel free to continue to ask stuff. Funny story, and I used to like Versace Eros too. So for me personally, that's another one of my absolute favorite summer fragrances to go through is, so Versace Eros Energy, a lot of people probably saw this, came out this past year. Versace Eros Energy is a lemon drop candy style. It's not childish in any way, shape, or form. When I say that, it sounds a little overly youthful, but it's not. It is just more youthful than something like Club de Nuit Intense Man like Parfum, or even the original Creed Aventus. But this is fantastic. I love Eros Energy. I love Eros Flame because it's more of a blood orange edition of the original. But Versace Eros Parfum is a monstrously incredible bergamot woodsy fragrance for summertime, and I love it. Paradise Garden or Versace Tropical. Oh, 100% Paradise Garden. No getting around that. I do want to say, hold on. Wow, never seen that one. Which one are you talking about? I just went to the store wearing a French Defense cologne, and this girl was standing close to me. Huh. I actually not smelled any French Defense. That's a tough one to say. It's an extract to like grandma's candles. Yes. The teachers loved it. This is awesome. I love seeing you guys actually be a part of this, like I said. But yeah, so this one, Versace Eros Energy, it came out this past year. And old buddy Channing Tatum was the dude who was facing for this one. But like I said, it's very reminiscent of that Creed Aventus type of feel. And I got to say, I really like this one. It is strong. It lasts most of the time, especially the EDPs and up. Most of the time with Versace, you're going to get really good performance. They're not overrated. Like I said, Versace Eros Parfum, one of the best fragrances I've ever personally experienced. Out of everything that I have, that I've tried, even things that I've went to the niche stores like Le Parfumerie, tried all the mind games and stuff. To this day, there are just some designers that you just can't give up and pass up on because people love them. That's what they're for. They're mass appealing. If you get Eros Parfum, if you get Armani Code Parfum, these are really strong, powerful, but reasonably priced summertime fragrances. And again, by the way, somebody said you're an honest man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming through here. Might have been, hey, you never know. Vulcan got one. Don't get both. Lamel Elixir or Elixir Absolute? The original Elixir, for me personally. I got both of them. Right around the time the Absolute first came out, I did do a review. And I will say, it's decent. It has a fig note added in. It's pretty good, but it's not worth it, to be completely honest. I see some people hyping it up, and that's okay, because at the end of the day, it is subjective, so different people's opinions are different. But for me personally, I just prefer to stick with the original Jean Paul Gaultier Le Mel Elixir. You don't need a flanker for it. I don't agree with everybody who says that stuff sometimes, but in this case, I will say that. Don't forget to hit the like button. F. Torrey, what's up, buddy? I appreciate you coming through here. Thank you. And Sony, how are you? I am fantastic, my friend, and I hope you are doing extremely well this evening as well. Everybody, you guys, God bless you guys. I appreciate y'all so much. Unless you're a fragrance YouTuber, I agree. There's no point unless you are somebody who does like actual reviews. It's not really necessary to have two of those same kinds. But I will say personally, the Absolute is decent. It's just not really worth having because the original is just unbeatable. And honestly, to be completely real, to me, I think that Absolute, Jean Paul Gaultier Le Mel Elixir Absolute is like a more youthful version of the two, and it just kind of makes it not necessary to have. If you're average Joe, get one. Absolutely. Ocean Noir is good. What you think? I actually haven't tried that one. I've seen, that's Michael Malal, I think it is. That's how you say the name. I've seen that advertisement for that fragrance a lot, but I just haven't got the chance to smell it. I want to because I've heard it's pretty decent. When I was at a store not long ago, the guy working there, they did not have another bottle left, even though they're like a little niche store and they have certain things like that. It's not really niche, but they had it there, and he said it was really good. So if I can get my nose on it, I'd like to. Favorite is Sauvage Elixir. Well, Vulcan, I can honestly tell you. Wait a minute, I want to be specific because I feel like I've seen you here before, and I'm super sorry. Like it's been a while. If you are not new here, I can't remember if your name is Vulcan, because I know that might be German, so I just want to be respectful to you. But Sauvage Elixir is a fantastic fragrance. That's another one of those ones that people try to say is overrated. Isn't it crazy how like really good fragrances are called overrated by other fragrance content creators while they're shoving down your throat all this new clone cheapy crap so that you guys will buy it? In reality, there's good on both ends and bads on both ends, but Sauvage Elixir is fantastic. Are you at all into Middle Eastern colognes? I am. Like Amouage is one of my absolute favorite companies in the entire world. There's certain other companies that I enjoy that are on the more expensive end. There's not too many cheaper companies that I'm a huge fan of, although certain companies like Afnan and things I can appreciate. Rare Carbon's one I recently got, and as somebody who in my top 10 favorite fragrances of all time is Tom Ford's Ombre Leather Parfum. I also love the Eau de Parfum. When I got Rare Carbon, I was pretty blown away. It's not perfect, but it actually does have decent performance and kind of reminds me and makes me happy. Your most complimented summer fragrance, straight up, like I said, best summer fragrance of all time, completely. Again, it's my opinion, so it's my opinion, but I will say, favorite of all time is definitely best complimented. Remember, guys, compliments are extremely rare. It doesn't matter who you are. Compliments on your fragrances are extremely rare. It doesn't matter what other fragrance channels are telling you. It's a bunch of crap. But I will say, Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Beau de Parfum, it does actually work. People really love the smell. It's fantastic. And to me, it's just like a monster, all well-rounded summertime fragrance, just like Paradise Garden. On the flip side, by the way, just throwing this out there, it is not redundant to have both of these guys. Just throwing that out there. Just took a dump. Hey, you got to do what you got to do, buddy. Sometimes you got to let it. I got IBS, so I know how you feel. You should go to and like Fragrance Con, biggest thing. Le Beau, the Parfum is my favorite. Absolutely, it is fantastic. My most complimented is Luva 7 Cobalt. Blues are mad. I haven't tried that before. I have to check that out. What's your opinion on, thank you, Victor, for asking a question, and I would love to answer that for you right now, my friend. So, as far as people ask me a lot about oud wood, and I got to say, this was one of the first oud-ish fragrances, and I say that in quotations because it's not the purest of oud. By the way, just letting you know, I try to talk fast and keep up with you guys, but if I do miss anything, don't spam, but you're more than welcome to re-comment so I can try to keep up with you because I appreciate every one of you guys. Seriously, this community and this channel is like dog crap, means nothing if you guys aren't here and we don't get to interact. So thank you to everybody, even if you just pass through for a couple seconds. I appreciate you. So with that being said, this was the first oud-like fragrance that I got my nose on, and honestly, it really made me happy at the time, so much so that I like literally ordered a bottle right away. But I gotta say, the projection is not great. For the price that you pay for a Tom Ford's oud wood, it's not really something I can suggest to most people. If you smell it and you really love it, what are you going to spray to cover it up? I'm not sure which one you're talking about. You're talking about to cover up this one? Probably anything. Oud's going to make them run. It does depend on which fragrance that it is, to be completely honest with you. It really depends on which fragrance that you're wearing, because this one, my wife like hates most oud things. She actually really likes this. Some fragrances say oud in the name, but don't really have that smell. Like, again, one of my absolute favorites is Oud Silk Mood by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. On the other hand, I have Silver Oud by Amouage. That's stinky. I like it. Surprisingly, people at my job, we work around fragrances every day. My job, though, people actually like that one. But Hayat by Xerjoff. Xerjoff is one of my favorite company of all. And that bad boy is really hard to get anybody to like. It's just true to the core. People say the word cheesy for that one, like cheesy oud. And then, like, as soon as you hear that, it's kind of like, I know this might sound strange for you guys, but I hate hearing something like creamy when people are talking about like the word cheese. So if somebody says like this is creamy cheese when they're eating macaroni or something, if for some reason that grosses me out, I don't know why, but I don't like that word when I think about cheese, even though it is like cream technically speaking. Well, the same kind of idea with oud. I can appreciate an oud fragrance unless you say, oh, that's that cheesy oud. Then I smell it and I just like, that's disgusting. I don't like this now. It ruins it for me. I'm just one of those kind of people. Sorry, I go on these little rants from time to time. God bless you too, buddy. I appreciate you so much for taking the time to even watch and subscribe. I really appreciate that. But Oud for Glory is all Oud for Greatness. Sorry, original Oud for Greatness is also a really good fragrance. It's a clone Oud for Greatness. Yeah, I really do. I personally like Oud for Greatness and Oud for Greatness Neo. Does anybody have experience with Mont Blanc Intensivo? I personally maxed Freitas. I don't have any experience with that, but definitely if somebody in the comments is able to help my buddy here, please feel free to do so. Just want to throw this out there one more time. If you guys, every single person is welcome on this channel as long as you are being respectful. And again, I do ask that you keep your comments and stuff family friendly. It's not just because personally I am a Christian. I just also want you guys to, by the way, I didn't really understand you trolling. What's that? Got no cheese from my oud fragrance, thankfully. Douglas, have you tried Creek? So I just want to throw this out there one more time. I don't just ask people to be family friendly and stuff because of my own faith and my beliefs, but just in general, all different types of people at different ages come through these chats, and I just want to keep it nice and respectful for everybody, no matter who you are. So I just appreciate you guys. Not that anybody's doing like being the opposite of respectful right now. You all have been great this entire stream so far. Just throwing it out there just to be sure. But Royal Oud, I love. Okay, so John Jones, what you just suggested, I want to smell that. I don't want to talk about that fragrance out loud because, like I said, it's a family-friendly thing, and it's like one of the only fragrances that I can bring up that's not necessarily family-friendly. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I can pronounce the name of that fragrance, but I don't know how to pronounce the name of that that company. It's like Attaque d'Orange or something like that. I don't know. But I do know that fragrance, I want to know what it smells like. Aaron Terrence Hughes did a review of it, and he very much was not a fan of it whatsoever. But he also said it wasn't as bad as people make it out to be. $70 on. Oh, definitely to my buddy asking about Capri. So this was the new formulation of this, and I just got this when it first came out. My mom got this for me for my birthday, and I have to say this is 100% worth it. Fig, black pepper. This is an incredible fragrance to me. People who are maybe interested, it's not the same, but people who are interested in perhaps Dylan Blue, which is more blue, true to the core black pepper fragrance. This one does it for me 100%. As like a more mature, anybody can enjoy this. And it's less mall fragrance and more unique and distinct, but still absolutely perfect summertime fragrance. So Dolce & Gabbana, the new Capri and Love Light Blue. It is a really fantastic choice, and it lasts all day with just minimal amounts of sprays. I personally kind of tend to be like, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in general, I'm more of a 5-person spray no matter what I wear, except for like MFK, Oud Silk, Mood. Gotta take it easy on that. But affordable, long, but definitely, my buddy, if you're considering getting it, I do recommend it. If you're really thinking about getting it, and you can spend responsibly. I'd never want to encourage you guys to buy something unless, of course, not saying you're not, but I know that a lot of people, we can become very what's the word, impulsive with buying fragrances, which is another reason why I really don't like how a lot of these TikTokers and stuff are really pushing things hard on people. But as far as something decently priced for something more reasonable, I'm going to say I really like sending people towards stuff like Hod Lodge's Vanilla Dunes. It's supposed to be like Althea. I loved Althea very much, but I gave it away as a gift to my friend because he was really obsessed with it. And I just was like, this one works for me because I like having stuff I can easily replace. So this bad boy right here, Hod Lodge's Vanilla Dunes, and as well Hod Lodge Island. It's not perfectly like Le Beau Le Parfum, but it's close enough, and you can burn through it, and it really does well for you performance-wise. So what do you think about Oud Satin Mood Extrait? I think it's fantastic. Like I said, this is the Oud Silk Mood Extrait de Parfum, and this one's my preference between the two. But I will say it is an incredibly strong fragrance. I think it is one of the most beautiful fragrances that have ever been made. That's just my opinion. I understand, it is very powdery, like my friend here suggested. And in that case, there are some that I've experienced that are really good if you like that powdery satin feel. This one is one of those ones that was a decent dupe that I got my hands on, and I really like it. I also really like the coloring in the bottle. You can't see it very well. It's like a beautiful teal kind of color almost. But this is Ministry of Oud Satin, and it's also an extrait de parfum and lasts all day. And it smells extremely close to the original Oud Satin Mood. I've never found a replacement for Oud Silk Mood. I don't want to, because like I said, it's in my top 5. But this one right here, if you want something that's very close to it, this was like $30. So definitely recommend this bad boy. It says it causes nausea and vomiting. That is correct. If you're talking about the secretions one, that definitely does cause those type of feelings for people that I've seen online. I've never tried it, but I am interested. I spray 8 times. I avoid spray on my neck because it causes aging. I know some people definitely say that is the case for a lot of folks and have those experiences, and I know that it's kind of a case-by-case thing with your skin. Me personally, like, I have eczema, and thankfully this is actually one of the few things that doesn't mess with me. It doesn't cause aging, yeah, as far as what I've heard for the most part, but at the same time you never know. But I do like to do, for me, I do the 2 pulse points. I do the back of the neck. I do both shoulders. I actually recently learned that. I don't remember who I saw doing it, but somebody I was watching, instead of just on the chest, because that's what I always used to do, said just do on the shoulders, because you still get great sillage, but at the same time, it's like less prone to quicker going nose blind. So I like that. That's what I started doing. What's YEDP Intense like? I would say that it's honestly a really decent fragrance. My wife calls it the snuggle smell, because when we first got it, it's like bergamot with apple and just a very relaxed, soapy bergamot apple type of feel, but not in a cheap way. It actually smells really nice. But I love this fragrance, and my wife, like I said, she calls it the snuggle smell, and it's just kind of something that we put on like when I'm going to relax. I've never actually wore it to wear it out, but I do think it's a beautiful fragrance. That's why I said over time. I spray on the shoulder and chest underneath when I wear. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. I always spray on my neck. You gotta just use lotion. Definitely, I don't really do that myself. I should do that more often, but putting lotion around your neck and on your wrists and stuff, if you're gonna spray on your wrist. See me, I'm constantly retesting stuff, and I like to continue to smell. I work around an extreme amount of fragrances at my job every day. So it's not that easy, even with strong stuff, to continue to go without being nose blind or getting bombarded by too much. So I definitely like when I'm testing stuff, because I never personally give my thoughts about a fragrance. I'll give like mild thoughts if I've smelled something in passing, but I never give my full thoughts about a fragrance in its full quality unless I've tried it on my skin, either at a store or because I have it, at least 3 times. I try it at least 3 times for an all-day wear, from the time that I get up at 4:30 a.m. all the way to the evening time, so that way I can really tell you guys, for me at least, how it performs. And I like to think that, not that this makes me special, but I like to think that because, A, I have tattoos, they are really bad for maintaining fragrance. Also, I have very bad eczema, really bad for maintaining fragrance, very bad oily skin. I like to think, or excuse me, very dry skin. I like to think that it definitely works out in my favor. Spray some Pam. That's very funny. We're going to start doing that. I'm going to start encouraging people to spray Pam on their skin. Roja, drew on my neck. I never spray on my neck. There's nothing wrong with that at the end of the day. It'd be super funny to start having people do that, though. I got whiffs throughout. From now on, you start seeing people like buying up all the Pam at the stores. And they're like, what are you doing that for? Oh, I wear fragrances and I like them to stick. And they're like, interesting. Neck gonna be slippery. You are not wrong about that, my friend. So you saying whiffs actually reminded me there is another fragrance that I wanted to bring up that's super duper hyped at this point, and it's this. So I've got Noir by Riffs, but also Riffs Memento. I gotta say, this fragrance definitely also is kind of one of those meh. So I got this directly from the people, and I had to say, how many sprays do you wear? If you're asking me personally, about 6. If you count the ones I do on my arm so that I can test them out, normally I'll do about 2 sometimes. So with that being said, this bad boy right here, though, this was a huge disappointment. Memento, I kept seeing once again, like, it's always the cheap stuff that like the TikTokers are pushing like crazy. Oh, this is fantastic. Well, I got news for you. This is not fantastic. It's not bad. It's not bad, but it's just, I like the feeling when I wear something. I feel there is a time and a place for just cheap, dumb reach, everyday fragrances. But personally, perfumery is a true, beautiful thing that I really cherish. And it's okay if everybody like has their own way of doing things or their own feelings about them. For me, though, my opinions are based on how much I actually really appreciate and love and cherish fragrances. And when I see something and I smell it and I want to say, hey, this smells like it's got quality. This smells like it has luxury behind it a little bit. Because not that you have to be bougie, but when you express yourself with perfumery, I like to think of it as something that's one of those special moments where you really get to kind of stand out a little bit. And when I smell things like this, I smell that they tried to do something luxurious, but it ultimately felt just a little bit flat. And this is not throwing shade. You'll hear me dunk on dupes a lot. Don't get me wrong now. Like Sensual Obsessions or Hud Lodge, they have done like quite a few actual fantastic dupes and cheapies and stuff. French Avenue as well. They're a little bit hit or miss, but like they're a little bit better at least than Rasasi. But let me see. I don't know. 8 sprays works for me really great. Very gentle longevity. That's not bad. With that being said, what's your coolest bottle? My coolest bottle. I always kind of just personally, so a lot of you guys weeks and weeks ago heard me gear shift my favorite fragrance from what this used to be to La Mala Parfum, which I still absolutely love, and it's still in my top 5. But I do gotta say, I realized after some more time exposure, I can't get away from Naxos. Naxos is my favorite fragrance, and to be completely real with you, this is my favorite. It's not the actual coolest bottle that exists, I guess. Totally understand if you guys have your own personal favorite coolest bottles. But to me, I just love Xerjoff bottles. And this one really does it for me. Although I will say, hopefully you guys will be able to see this. A handful from the Alchemy series. These actually are the coolest bottles. I don't know if you guys like antique looking stuff, but these babies, hopefully, I don't even know if you can really see what it looks like, but this is definitely the coolest bottle that I have. This is Empyrean, and this is like dummy cool. Does Toy Boy have a nice rose note? Toy Boy is actually an incredible fragrance, but I've got to be real with you. I hate the name and the bottle. I've showed it so many times because it looks so stupid, and the cap is terrible. Absolutely does not like to stick. I like the fragrance, hate the bottle. Does not like to stick. BDC type of presentation. BDK. And a Xerjoff bottle. I definitely don't know what BDK is. Excuse me. Yes, I do. What the heck am I talking about? Sorry. But BDC, or if you're talking about Bleu de Chanel, I really like Bleu de Chanel Parfum, but I definitely don't really care too much for their bottles and stuff. They're just very classic. But I do got to say, I don't like their bottles. So I saw the Yomi bottle. Yeah, that's really cool. So with this one, though, like I said, even though Xerjoff is the Naxos is my favorite, this is just the coolest thing. There's a couple other from the line that has a similar. All of the ones from the Alchemy line got the same lid. Oh boy, though. I do got to say, this one, the smell is so rich and luxurious and strong, and ironically not that expensive. But I will say, you do got a point, because the Special Monkey, actually, Tomi Iyomi Special Monkey, does have a really neat bottle. I haven't really looked at it too much. Oh, that's funny. You can actually see the little fella, the little pictures on there. But yeah, this one's actually a cool little bottle too. I really want to try the new Duran Duran ones, because I've seen that they're really popular. And also, which one is it? Is it this one? No, one of the Torinos. Well, dang, what did I do with it? This one isn't. I think this is cool because it's got like a little 90s or 80s type of feel to it. This is actually my favorite Torino. This is Torino 23. Also, you are correct. Argos are cool fragrances. Diego, what's up, buddy? Super happy to see you, my friend. How's the promotion? You got a promotion? I'm so sorry that I missed out on that. But Gabriel, Argos definitely are cool bottles, and I agree with you 100%. And Tropical Sillage, heck yeah, not till Thursday. So if you're getting promoted, hey, super happy to hear that, buddy. I want a perfume that has bamboo note. Huh, that's actually pretty interesting. When I think of bamboo notes, it kind of reminds me a lot of more like a green tea feel. I know they're not quite the same, but a lot of times when there's like a bamboo supposed note in something, which is technically kind of more woodsy, for some reason they do a matcha green tea type of vibe. But that sounds fire. Someone says special monkey smells like bananas and Nutella. I guess you could kind of say that. It's more like there's a caramel note to it for sure. Just throwing this out there real quick. Hey, you know what? Holy crap. That's so funny now that you said that. Honestly, it does kind of smell that way a little bit. I sure did, Douglas. I'm an inventory specialist at work. Well, technically trained. That's awesome. So I actually do logistics myself, and I used to do purely inventory work, but at this point I'm mostly just sticking back to general logistics, doing shipping and all that stuff. It's just more relaxed, and I like it this way. Bamboo is kind of like rubbers. I guess you got a point, because at the end of the day at my job, so we have uncoated bamboo lids, and it stinks. I hate it. I don't personally like it. Sensual Obsessions. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, so Sensual Obsessions, literally here in the chat. Super happy to see you. Was just talking earlier about your beautiful, wonderful fragrances. And also, now that I got you here, I cannot remember if I got to tell you already or not, because just throwing this out there for everybody, forgot to mention, who don't know, but yesterday morning, my grandma did officially finally pass away. I know that might sound strange to new people, but my grandma was in hospice for the past month and a half. It has been a time. Well, she did pass away the other day, so now we are in the process of all it happening. The funeral is going to be this Wednesday, so for temporarily, you guys are going to be seeing a little bit more of me during this time. But with that being said, I just want to let you know, too bad you went closer, might hire a shipper. Hey, that would be so cool if any of us ever got to work for you. But most definitely, Sensual Obsessions, your fragrance that you sent me, the one that you made for me, it is absolutely fantastic. I love it. Thank you so very much. Also, everything else that you guys sent me, I want to bring them onto the reviews. I haven't brought them on here yet, but I will say that I opened it up, the sample pack, at my job, and everybody went insane for you guys and stuff and wants to come your way and buy stuff. And thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Bless you guys dearly. Thank you for sharing your love. It means a lot to me. Like, it's definitely been a process. I'm not personally, honestly sad, because we had already our time to grieve, technically speaking. And thank you, everybody. Seriously, Tropical, Sensual. I appreciate Gabriel. It was definitely a process, but we're doing better on the other side. She suffered, and now I know she's going on to a better place. And so at this point, I'm just happy that she doesn't have to be in pain anymore. And plus, to be real with you, because the experience happened and I had like a lot of time off when it first started, I started doing this. Literally, I started streaming because of that situation. And then I met all you guys who've been here for a while now. So I'm just, it's been a tough time, but I'm grateful for the experience of how everything worked out, because I didn't really stream before. And when I just tried it out during those days off out of boredom and I got to talk with you people, I was like, wow, this is really cool. And I will definitely have to get a bottle. Yes, you will. You will certainly have to get one of their bottles. I like the smell of old books. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. I do too. So the smell, that's what it is. Holy crap. You just reminded me. So I've been trying to remember what it was, because I could have just Google searched, but apparently I'm lazy. So in Oud Silk Mood, the note that I love so much, that goes along with the medicinal lavender feel, and that goes along with that beautiful rose note, is papyrus. That's what they were going for. If you don't know, that's like a traditional classic, one of the original materials that they used for paper back in the older times, like in ancient Egypt and the Coptics and stuff like that. I love history. You'll hear me talk about that stuff quite a bit. So that is actually one of the notes that goes well, is blended in. So that old, luxurious paper type of feel going on. Papyrus is what I remember is one of the other notes that's supposed to be Oud Silk Mood. So thank you for bringing up the old book smell. I like that. Grimsby has all three of your fragrances. ISOE Super kind of smells like old books. You are correct. Commodity books supposed to smell like old books. So that's funny. I haven't smelled too many of their stuff, but I do want to check them out. Commodity, I smelled what is it, the milk. It was actually pretty good. Kind of reminded me a little bit of like a variation of Giardini di Toscana's Bianco Latte. ADG Elixir smells like old books. You know what? I can kind of see that a little bit. Calvin Klein Eternity. Tropical, you are not wrong. Calvin Klein Eternity definitely is a classic. What's up, Jason S? Scent of the day, Armani Code. That's awesome, my friend. I appreciate you being here. By the way, just want to throw this out there. This is not me asking for anything. This is just me celebrating. So to anybody who's new here, you won't understand why this is cool. But to anybody who's been here for a while, here on the channel, recently, 2 days ago, I finally hit the point where YouTube approved me as a partner. Cannot stress enough. I want to show you guys this because it's absolutely ridiculous that it's taken. I shouldn't complain too much. I do want to be like honest, but at the same time grateful. So when I pull up my analytics here, you'll see why it frustrates me a little bit. Because if you look up my watch time in hours for the past 365 days, if you'll take a gander right there, if you can see, I got 7,800 watch hours. But yet somehow YouTube's been really struggling along to give me credit for those hours. It says as of June 18th, so it's 5 days behind usually. It said I got 3,068. So they kind of were giving me no credit for those original hours before I got my silver play button. But since I started live streaming, my hours have been blossoming because of you guys. So I am now getting super chats. I am officially a partner who can receive super chats and memberships. Although it's not happened yet, except my wife was so nice from the living room the other night to give me $1 during my stream last night. Regardless, I'm able to get super chats now, so that's cool that it can at least happen. I'm very close to that 4,000 an hour threshold, thanks to you guys again doing these streams and being here watching with me. So soon I'll be able to start getting like, $3 every now and then, and I can put that towards my Make-A-Wish fund. So with that being said, Wealth by Perfume Sucks has the money note. I have never smelled that personally, but yeah, I just want to throw that out there. My Greenlee got delivered. Oh, heck yeah, buddy. Let us know what you I don't know if you've smelled it before, but if you've never had it before, check it out. Ombre leather. Absolutely. Like I said, ombre leather parfum. I actually might wear this tomorrow. One of my absolute favorites of all time. Like I said, I recently got the bottle of Rare Carbon. It is really cool. No way. Dude. No way, man. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Sensual Obsessions. I appreciate you so much for that. How do you... It says I can like it. Definitely don't want to report that. That would be really awful. Dude, thank you. That's really cool. Now I have a whopping... Now I got $10 thanks to you guys. I appreciate you so much, dude. That's really neat. So thank you. Yeah, that is literally... Wow. That makes me near about actually legitimately speechless. So thank you so much. And to slay them, smells like a brand new car seat. So the Eau de Parfum edition definitely has like a little bit more of that vibe to it, but the parfum, I'm absolutely crazy about this. I don't know what it is, but the sandalwood and everything, it makes me so happy. But seriously, Sensual Obsessions, that just brightened my day because I'm literally just a couple minutes away, for like 8 minutes away from ending the stream. And so now it just brings me a lot of joy that I can say that you're absolutely right, Jason. Kevin is the man. And I'm just so thankful for you because first and foremost, I have been telling like everybody at my job about you guys. And honestly, just throwing this out there, as much as I loved my Eagle Star, one of my buddies at work, she was absolutely so obsessed with it that she begged me if she could have it. And I ended up giving it to her as her birthday gift. So she was so crazy about it, which I could have just told her to go buy one, or I could have bought one for her. But so she had to have that. And then now also I've been rocking my baby over here. You guys made for me like crazy, but my wife, Full Throttle, and so many of the rest of the ones that you guys sent me, I can't wait to show you guys more about those because they are fantastic. So not because these guys, like because he just sent me any money, literally not because of that, but straight up the fragrances, these are extracted parfums, but they are fantastic, best atomizers I've ever seen. And they really are doing something special over there. So sincerely, I have a lot of gratitude to this company for being honest. And they were the guys I was telling you guys earlier about who actually want people to be honest when they review their stuff. Super rare in the fragrance world. So got to send oceans of love to these guys at Sensual Obsession. Xerjoff uses high quality aroma chemicals. I definitely really love Xerjoff myself. Xerjoff is that expensive because it's Xerjoff. I don't know if I missed a question. So can you give a detailed review on Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense? I absolutely can do that for you real quick. To be honest with you, one of the things that I love about Dolce & Gabbana is they tend to feature, hopefully I don't miss anybody's comments real quick, but I want to help my buddy Sonam out real fast. Hopefully I pronounced your name properly. I mean, no disrespect. By the way, there's 20 people watching. Hello, I'm Andrew Douglas Moon. If you're new here, I appreciate you so much. You're welcome to ask any questions. Just keep it family friendly, keep it respectful, because that's the kind of community we have around here. But real fast, my buddy, it says lemon, aquatic note, and clary sage. Obviously, that's a little bit vapid and doesn't give you like the fullest breakdown of like the deep notes and stuff that's in this, but that is just what it says. Real quick, my exact match oils, their Dove perfumer, that's why they are so good. Yeah, Sensual Obsessions kills it with their matches. That's my personal experience, and I'm being serious. So with that being the case, this is, compared to the original, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue was actually the first fragrance that I truly fell deeply in love with, that I bought for myself. When my mom took me to Ulta for the first time, I said, I'm going to let you pick your own. So I loved hers, that she had like DK and YB Delicious, stuff like that. Marc Jacobs Daisy. I enjoyed the ones my mom had, but when she took me to buy my own for the first time when I was young, this is actually the one that I got, was the original Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. But it doesn't last the greatest. This one, on the other hand, is a little bit different variation. The other one's rosemary. This one's clary sage. This one lasts very well throughout the day, even during hot days and you're sweaty at the beach. My personal experience with this is an O Intense. They really did great with this formulation, and I love it. So definitely really appreciate it. Oh yeah, Tropical Sillage. Yeah, but I mean, Alexandria 2 is way more expensive than the others, and I was just wondering. Oh, okay. So you're asking about, to my buddy over here, asking about Alexandria 2. The reason is compared to the rest of them, which like I said, my favorite, which is Naxos, it's an eau de parfum. Alexandria 2 is actually one of the only real extrait de parfums. To be real with you, I don't know what the point was, because they're all very good performers. Everything that I have from Xerjoff is an exceptionally good performer. This one is beautiful, but very, like, it smells like you walked into a abandoned pyramid and there's a mummy inside. He's a rich mummy. He's got a lot of money and he's got wonderful things around him, but it hasn't been opened in about 4,000 years. And you open it up and he just really rips a very sweet, antique, luxurious fart. That's what this smells like. I know that sounds ridiculous. Just being straight up though, I love this fragrance, but it's very hard to recommend to people because it smells like an old fart. No, it doesn't. It smells like a luxurious fart. Just throwing it out there. But Beast Mode, absolutely love from India. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. Do you own Molecule 01? I do not have Molecule 01. I wish I could help you, but if somebody in the chat has any experience with that fragrance, you're more than welcome to help my friend out. With that being said, I got JPG Lamel for 120. Not a bad price. With that being said, I appreciate you guys so much for stopping through here. Truly do. Like I said, I always like to keep it true to the core, family friendly. That's what kind of show we do here. And I think every single one of you guys, whoever stops through and asks questions, throwing this out there though, just letting it be known, as a Christian, although anybody, whether you're Muslim, atheist, doesn't really matter to me. Like I said, this channel is not for me to argue and debate with people. It's just where I talk about my faith open and honestly because I care about you guys, and at the same time, I welcome everybody here. But just if you're new here, I end all of my streams with a prayer. You're welcome to stick around for that, regardless of who you are or what you believe. If you try to troll and say like awful stuff, just like if you was doing it to somebody in the chat, you're going to get blocked from the chat. My moderators will block you out. So don't bother even wasting your time. We don't allow that kind of stuff. But with that being said, 5 a.m. here. Can we layer CJ Bois Intense? I've never done that, but I do think that would actually be kind of, you know what? Real quick before I pray. So that's just what I was saying is I always end my streams with a prayer. So if you guys want to be a part of that, you're more than welcome to be a part of that. And if you don't, hey, you're welcome to get out of here as well. Or you can ask questions while we do it. But to my friend who asked, I will do that just for the sake of doing it and see what happens. This might be absolutely horrible, but just for you guys. CJ Bois Intense. I'm going to layer this bad boy with, do I got anything over here? I do not. CJ Bois Intense. Put that on first. Then we're going to do, let's see what happens here. Already in the air, I am getting a strange mallow type of note, if you guys know what I mean by that. Just being completely honest with you, at this point, all you're really getting is CJ Bois Intense. Just throwing it out there. No, definitely did. Any cologne with aloe vera note for JJ? I don't know of any colognes like that necessarily speaking, but then again, that kind of always takes me back to like a matcha green tea note. Are you obsessed by perfumes? You could kind of say a little bit. I love fragrances, definitely. With that being said, I'm about to go ahead and do my prayer real fast. You guys are more than welcome to be a part of it. You're welcome to go if you have to. Also, yes, it is Jo Malone Cypress and Grapevine, and I absolutely love Jo Malone Cypress and Grapevine. It is a fantastic fragrance. So, feel free to ask questions if you don't want to join the prayer. Otherwise, bow your head and be prepared. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this beautiful day that I got to have. Thank you so much for how wonderful the Bible study was this morning. Everybody that got to come through, we had a wonderful time. And I just pray that you were there with me in that situation and that the things I said were helpful and encouraging for anyone who watched. But as well, during this live stream, I thank you for the beautiful art that is perfumery as part of the creativity that you instilled in us. You are the ultimate creator and artist. And I thank you for this beautiful universe that you've made and all the things within it and the diverse majesty that you have done for this earth. And to everybody who's taking the time to watch, no matter who they are, where they're from, what they believe, I just pray that they come to know you and that they get to experience the blessings and grace that you bestow on us and offer us every day. And I just love you with all my heart, Lord. I thank you for my wife, my kids, the family. It's just been such a special time and continuing to grow closer to you every day. And I just thank you for all these wonderful people out there and their personal experiences. I don't know what they're going through or if they're going through anything. But at the end of the day, I just hope that they are fully aware that they have not just one or even 10, but so many purposes that they are here with on this earth and so many abilities and meaning. And I hope they come to know that. So in your name, Jesus, I just lift everything up to you and pray your will be done. And I pray for hope and blessings for these people's lives. And I lift it all up to you in your name. Amen. Thank you so much, Lord. So to you guys, appreciate y'all so much for popping through. I do got to hop off here real fast. Great to see you again. Hey, super happy to see you here too, buddy. What do you think of Invictus Platinum? I've not personally tried that, to be completely honest with you. Looking at your tattoo, I think you love Paradise Garden. I do love Paradise Garden. So yeah, just letting that be known. I absolutely love Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Parfum. That's my personal favorite of the two, but I really do love Paradise Garden. It's fantastic. But yeah, thank you guys so much for popping through here as well. My grandmother is definitely at peace. She is resting with the Lord at this point. And so I'm just happy she's not suffering anymore. And like I said, now that we work through that, I do got the next couple of days off because of all the family stuff going on. But I am going to have a lot of opportunity to hang out with you guys. I'm probably going to do another Bible study stream tomorrow morning again. Very likely, maybe not, but probably so. And then I'm going to try to do this again tomorrow night. Come hang out with you guys. If you guys want to be a part of another fragrance stream, real quick, I actually do want to ask you guys, because my fragrance streams do well when I hang out with y'all. It is my fragrance review videos that are tanking these days. So I just wanted to know, after my algorithm died, what would you guys, if you're going to be there, if I posted a video tomorrow, if I do like a premiere, which one of the ones that I've recorded would you like to see? I did Black Vanilla by Mancera. I did a full, actual, in-depth, updated video Paco Rabanne's 1 Million Elixir. I also actually had the video recorded for in-depth of Oud Silk Mood. And then there's one more, but I do not remember which one it is at this point. So it's a mystery. So it could be the mystery one. It could be Paco Rabanne 1 Million Elixir. It can be Black Vanilla by Mancera or Oud Silk Mood. So let me know which video you guys would like me to post tomorrow. Do you think Tom Ford is a little overrated and overhyped? I do. I love some Tom Ford fragrances, but I do think for the most part, Tom Ford is quite a bit overrated and overhyped. Just being honest. Sorry I wasn't able to make it to the Bible study. And it's totally okay, buddy. Yeah, if you can be there tomorrow, you're more than welcome to join. It was definitely very early in the morning. But I was really happy with the discussion today. And I'm going to be revamping it quite a bit if I do get to come through and do it again tomorrow. Just depends on how I'm feeling, to be honest with you. But I have cherished every single one of you guys stopping through and asking questions, and it means the world to me. Again, the channel means nothing if it isn't for y'all. So please, if you got just a few more questions, I'll answer a couple more. But with that being said, like I had that question for you guys, please let me know. Which video review that I've got recorded still sitting in the bank would you guys like to see me post tomorrow? And you guys be able to help me go check it out, watch it, throw some love on there if you're willing to do so. So again, Paco Rabanne 1 Million Elixir, Maison Francis Kurkdjian Oud Silk Mood Extrait de Parfum, or a mystery one, or Black Vanilla by Mancera. Do an in-depth review of DCG Light Blue Intense and Summers are at its peak in India, and people are looking for a summer perfume. I actually did do a field review, or I did that last year, so that video is actually on my channel if you go back through my catalog, and it actually did pretty good. Oud Silk, I'd like 1 million. Uh-oh, we already got two opposing competitors here. You guys are going to have to find some way to battle each other out. I don't have a way for you to battle it out, but maybe you guys will find a way. But in all seriousness, now I appreciate you guys giving me your suggestions. So I'm going to probably have to, if nobody else comments, I might have to eeny, meeny, miny, moe you guys. LOL. Yeah, Dark. I'll watch either. I know. I appreciate you guys so much. Honestly, I don't even remember when I did the review for Black Vanilla. It's funny because I haven't even smelled that one pretty much since then, so I don't even remember what it smells like, to be honest with you. But I appreciate y'all so much. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do. I feel like the Oud Silk Mood might be better to wait just a little bit. Yeah, you don't have to fight John Jones. You guys just have to top 10 best clickbait thumbnails. Uh-oh. Are you asking about other people's videos? Because if you're asking about other people's videos, I actually really don't know. I was just thinking about the other day. Somebody, I don't remember what their name was, but there was a person. Actually, it might have been you. Somebody commented on my thing the other day. I was talking about how my videos, they really appreciate it. It was the first time they ever watched one of my videos, and they really liked it. But they were saying that my thumbnails could be way better. And I was like, you are 100% correct. Because I literally just download a random like stock photo of the fragrance and then do that stupid app that does like a screen cutout of you holding the fragrance with my stupid face. And then I just stick it on there. And I'm like, should I just post just a random like stock photo and not even feature me on it? Or should I just have a photo of me holding the fragrance with just a solid background? I'm not entirely sure. Honestly, that's another thing I could ask you guys' opinion, what you guys think, what would be more helpful. Should you recommend me buying Versace Eros? Not the EDT, to be completely honest with you. The Eau de Parfum is what I would rather you have, save a little bit of money, or all out, the Parfum edition is the absolute best. Best smell, best performer. That's my personal opinion, but I've had them all. Personally, I would say get the Parfum if you could save just a little bit of money. No, I was talking about your video, how your thumbnail is a cat. Oh, okay. So if you want me to rate my personal videos that I've done, so that's definitely like I always use a stupid meme photo that I've seen. And honestly, I do have a couple that are my favorite so far. I hope that's a climate-controlled room for your cologne. They do spoil. It is, Joshua. Thank you for your care about my fragrances, and you are correct. So this is in our new house that me and my wife got. We moved into a couple months ago. This is actually the closet where I keep it's like separated by multiple layers. And you are correct. It's definitely important for people to store your fragrances in a place that's not going to be humid. That's going to be well taken care of, preferably dark for the most part, so you can have them last for quite some time. Any perfume, you should add the big fire thing around the border and a big red circle and arrow. I think you're right. I think that is something that I should probably do. Let me see real quick. Joshua is correct. My room has AC. Absolutely. What do you think about Sospiro Vibrato? Is it mid for the price? I personally think so. When I tried it the other day, and I want to answer you, my other buddy asked about a fragrance I regret buying. I'll answer that in just a second. But I do, to be completely real with you, I did not know that until I was there checking out the full line by that company. I did not know that the reason their bottles look so similar. I thought they were just like a rip-off of Xerjoff bottle, similar shape. Turns out they actually apparently used to be together as a company, and then something happened and they separated. I don't really know what it was, but they split apart. I think it was creative differences or something like that. Either way, Xerjoff definitely is like way more successful as far as I can see. But the company's pretty decent. But I see a lot of people go crazy about that one. I wasn't the biggest fan. I thought it was cool, but I wouldn't pay the money for it. I thought it was decent, but I would not spend the money on anything that I smelled from that fragrance line. But they're not bad. They're just very vapid, if that makes any sense. Very expensive, vapid fragrances. So I regret Lattafa Rum Silver, even though it's cheap. I would say personally, I think I regret getting Dukan by Lattafa because it definitely was one of those ones I got because it was like a new thing coming out. And I was like, well, I might as well jump on it because it's coming out. But then once I got it, I was like, wow. After that very barely different pimento addition and opening that it has, it just turns into the original Hamra. Kawa is the best of the bunch, my personal opinion. Just my personal opinion. But yeah, smells like minty crap. I agree with you, Dark. I definitely agree. Let's see, a handful of other ones is there any other ones that I really regret? Not too many, to be honest. I mean, well, all right. I do think if I'm going to be as purely, I'm always honest, but if I go really to the core right now, I don't. I could be happy if I had almost none of my dupes and cheapies. If my entire Latafas or any of those kind of disappeared tomorrow, other than stuff like my Hod Lodges and things like that, and my Armoffs, I could still pretty much be okay because none of them are really that special. I don't wear any of them other than literally the Armoffs, the Club de Nuit series, and then like one Afnan, I believe. Other than that, for the most part, I pretty much don't wear almost any of them except for Vanilla Dunes if I'm in the mood for that, that type of thing. Or that's pretty much honestly it. I don't wear any of the Hawasses, none of that stuff. I do got my bottle of Hawass Tropical coming in 2 days, and I look forward to like doing like a live stream review of that. But to be real with you, all those could pretty much disappear, and I wouldn't really give a crap. For me, it's the mint and pear. Yeah, see, I actually like pear and those kinds of fragrances. Let me see what dark, what you said. Yeah, I agree with you, buddy. For me, it's the mint pear. Might be synthetic. Yeah, yes, you're right. Kawa is more rounded. See, that's the way I feel about it. I prefer Kawa over the rest of them. But yeah, you know, like Kawa, I definitely, hey, it's not for everybody. That's just like when I got this bottle to check it out. So this is French Avenue's edition. This is supposed to be basically like, it tickles me because it's supposed to be similar to those. I think it's like a dupe of the dupe, basically, to some degree or another. But this is French Avenue's Royal Blend. This is the Nero, and it just smells legitimately just like Hamra. But yeah, with that being said, I appreciate you guys so much for having taken the time to stop through. I say this not to be like a douchebag, but it helps out the channel. So if you haven't yet, if you've been watching and you've enjoyed the videos and you haven't hit the like button yet, please feel free to do so. It's very helpful. So it would mean a lot to me if you do hit the like button, because it does apparently for some reason help the videos get put out there and grow. So best citrusy Terre de Mes. Oh, that's not too fruity for the summer. So something like Terre de Mes, I would say, for me personally, thank you guys again. For me personally, I would just say whether you want that grapefruity feel, it's not grapefruit, whether you want that more matcha kind of feel that has a citrus vibe going on with it, a melon, Club de Nuit Sillage, or Silver Mountain Water. Or definitely going to send you towards something like Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue or Versace Eros the Parfum. If you want more like a bergamot citrus, if you want blood orange, then definitely Eros Flame. If you want straight up lemon citrus, going to see Eros Energy, stuff like that. Club de Nuit Intense Man, Pure Parfum, stuff like that. Really good choices. Also, the one Afnan that I really, really say is fantastic for most folks. Supposed to be like Creed Aventus Absolute with like the apple going with the bergamot over top of the original formulation. Supremacy Collector's Edition actually surprised me with how well it seems to perform. So I like it. Favorite from the Aqua de Jo line. Thank you for asking, my friend. I definitely appreciate you. I would say probably Parfumo. Is that how you say it? I think the Profundo is pretty good, but there's the Parfumo, I think is what it is. That one's probably my favorite, and then the new Elixir is actually pretty decent. It's not great. I'm not a huge Aqua de Jo guy. I would never probably buy an actual bottle myself. Versace Fatan is the best dupe of Terre de Mes. I have to check that out. I haven't had the best experiences with Versace just because a lot of them ended up falling kind of flat for me. Maison Alhambra, kind of. I don't remember which ones I have tried. Is this one of them right here? Yeah. So Scepter Malachite. I got this bad boy because I know that it's supposed to be like, hey, what's up, Tiles? Happy to see you, my friend. So I know this is definitely like a 1-to-1 next to the Vulcan Few. And honestly, like this was even cheaper. So, and it's brighter. It's a little bit brighter and less. There's something about it. It's like, I like this almost a little bit more than Vulcan Few. I don't know why I keep forgetting this exists. I had it tucked away, but the performance is still not that great, just like the other one. Anything good from Chroma Zaro lineup? There's a few, but it's been so long since I've really tried them that I don't want to give you my personal thoughts on those because I can't remember which one I think I would recommend to you. So sorry I can't help you out with that, but if somebody else is willing to do so, I haven't tried that line in so long, and I just can't give you really like a good, honest thought. I do like Jo Malone. I don't recommend buying them because they're pretty expensive for just getting a regular cologne concentration, but Cypress and Grapevine is a cologne intense, and I actually really love it, especially for evening times. My wife's crazy about it. Your suggestion for winters around $100. Suggestion for winters? Around $100. I guess I would probably say if you can get a decent bottle of like a 1 million Elixir. Honestly, this is actually pretty decent. I think of it kind of as a winter vibe, but Rayhan's Lion is not that bad. But 100% stuff like Vanilla Dunes by Hodlodge or Eagle Star by Sensual Obsessions, really good choice. I would say Latafa Kawa, if you Latafa Hamra Kawa, if you want to go something for the cheaper end. If you don't mind spending just a little bit extra, you can get a decent sized bottle of Stronger With You Parfum. I think with the praline, the chestnut vibes going on with the way that it has with the rest of the notes, it comes through with the pink pepper and everything very beautifully. Let's see, what else would I say for somebody probably for that price range? It's a little tough because that price range is very restrictive, but you can also find stuff like Sauvage Eau de Parfum on certain websites for a smaller bottle for something around there. Also samples. I'd recommend go to like fragrancenet.com, get yourself a sample of something like Amouage Interlude. That's like a killer fragrance. Not for everybody, but it's a pretty good one if you can get a sample. Runway Delhomme, good for winter. Definitely. Oh, you guys always bring me so happy. I do like Stronger With You intensely, but the Parfum edition is my personal favorite. Just throwing it out there. You guys bring me a lot of joy. I appreciate seeing you guys help yourselves out. Pretty sure that's a summer one. Yeah, it's really good to see you guys when y'all help out and actually talk to one another in the chats. It brings me a lot of joy. With that being said, this actually is quite a good room filler right here compared to the other one. So I love you guys. I appreciate y'all so much. I am going to go ahead and hop off here and get to watch a little TV with my wife so we can relax for the evening. Have you ever tried Bath and Body Works dupes? Not really. I wouldn't know about dupes, but I will say that I used to wear their stuff for a while when I was like saving money until I realized, wow, they're not that cheap. Black Opium. Yeah, so dark. That's actually the glitter edition is what my wife wears. She blends this with a Reflection by Amouage, which is interesting. This has a marshmallow note going with the original notes. I got her this for Valentine's Day, and she actually does a little layering of this with Reflections Amouage, and I have to say, it's incredible. So she knows what she's doing when she does that. Also, I got her the Devotion by Dolce & Gabbana, the ladies edition. It's fantastic. But the notes are definitely great. Honey Tobacco from Guerlain. I've only got 2 Guerlains at this point, and I got to say, I am really enjoying the fragrance house. I got Habit Rouge, and then L'Homme Idéal Extreme. And I got to say, very good fragrance house, very classic fragrance house. When I was reading the history of perfumery, did not realize how far back they go. Then head north, Alamo Thornton, where you'll find a fragrance chemist. He knows some real pros. Manusa. Thank you, Joshua, so much for taking the time to even be here to subscribe. That means a lot to me. Seriously, like when you guys stick around for the live streams, when you guys talk with me in general, it means the world to me. So thank you guys for taking the time to even subscribe. I appreciate y'all. Very expensive though. Yeah, definitely, Andrew. That's awesome. Oh yeah, thank you, buddy. When she does the little combination, I really love it because I love Amouage Reflection. But it's funny because for me personally, I would put that in my top 10 favorite fragrances of all time. But because I'm a weirdo and it has to be something that I would wear, top 10 that I would wear, I had to interchange it out with Jean Paul's Le Mal de Parfum because that was my other favorite iris fragrance, and it's more me. But because my wife wears Reflection, man, I think of it as a her thing, so I don't put it on my list of like my own favorite fragrances, but it is up there. Let's see here. And how long does your JPG Paradise Garden last on skin? Very fantastic question, Griffin. Sorry if I said it a little funky. On my personal skin, the Paradise Garden, I'd say probably lasts about 7 hours. Again, I know that's not the same for everybody. For me, it lasts pretty decently. Not as good as Le Beau de Parfum. They're both EDPs. But for some reason, Le Beau de Parfum is just a little bit more dense, a little bit better of a performance. But yeah, he gave him the root. He did. He hooked me up with the root for sure. Yeah, there's so much good history. Thoughts on Guerlain L'Homme Idéal. So definitely L'Homme Idéal Extreme. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I think it's a fantastic fragrance. It definitely surprised me, caught me off guard. I don't remember if I posted it yet. I think I posted my review of that already. So if I have, you guys are welcome to go check that out. Thoughts on Guerlain? Yeah, so it's a fantastic fragrance. Intense by Michael Malone London. I haven't tried any of his stuff just yet. I want to, but I haven't got around to doing it. So, but like I said, I appreciate you guys. I always get caught up in enjoying answering the questions and stuff. Give me your top 5 fragrance out of all. If you had to buy everything from beginning, what would be your top 5? So, Naxos by Xerjoff. I'm going to say Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Mal de Parfum. Maison Francis Kirkjohn's Oud Silk Mood. After that, honestly, it's a little tough, but I'm going to go ahead and probably have to say, if I really had to choose, which is difficult, because if I got to pick out of my top 10 and it has to be in that line, Xerjoff's 40 Knots and Sauvage Parfum is probably what I'm going to go with as far as my top 5. If I really had to pick some, I'd stick with for good. I know it's not like the most incredible list in the universe, but that's what I would personally go with if that was going to be the case. But thank you guys so very much. To anybody who's new here, I'm Andrew Douglas Moon. I do fragrance reviews. Also, as a person who is not trying to be not out here just trying to give everything I got to convert people, but as somebody who is a Christian, I do also do Bible studies on this channel and occasionally post stuff that involves just my faith and my family in general. But this is technically primarily a fragrance channel, and everybody is welcome here. So I appreciate you guys. I don't hide my beliefs. I definitely am very open about them, but I just wanted to be very clear that everybody is welcome here, regardless of what we do or don't agree with. So thank you to every single person who came through. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all so much, and I'll be seeing you. Well, if you come through, I'll be seeing you tomorrow if you come through to the next streams that I do. So I hope y'all have a wonderful night, everybody, and send oceans of love you guys' way.